welcome to the channel. I'm Gary. Thanks for joining me today for this look at There Is a Light That Never Goes Out. It's a classic Smiths song, really well known Smiths track. It's got great chords, it's got really nice picking arpeggio part at the end. I'm going to break it down into four parts actually. There's the introduction, we've got the verse chords, verse strumming, chorus chords and strumming, and then the arpeggio part that a lot of people seem to want to know how to play at the end. So I'm going to break each part down. As always, we're going to get close, zoom in, we'll look at every part. It's a really great song, this. If you're new to the channel, then please give me a like if you enjoy it. I hope you do. Subscribe to the channel, it helps me grow it. Anyway, let's get into this one. We'll break it down. It's There Is a Light That Never Goes Out. Alright, there we go, we're in up close now. So for this one I'm in standard tuning, and as you can see I've got a capo at the 4th fret. Tone wise I'm on a clean channel of the amp. I've got reverb, compression, chorus, tiny bit of delay, and a tiny bit of tremolo. So we're going to break the song down into four parts. The first bit's the easiest, it's the introduction, it's just 3 chords. So I'll play through it and then we'll break it down. It sounds like this. Alright, some nice easy stuff there. We've got a D minor 7. So I'm barring the first 2 strings, 1st fret. Then G string, 2nd fret, strumming it from the A string. A lot of people play a D minor there, which it does work, but the song sheet I'm looking at says it's a D minor 7. Then we go to an F major 7, but it's an F major 7 with a C in the bass. When I say C, all these notes are in relation to the capo, all these chord names are in relation to the capo as well, so it's not really a C note, but just in relation to the capo. Alright, so F major 7, but we're going to hold down the A and the D string. So I've got open 1st string, B1, G2, then D and A at the 3rd fret, strumming it from the A string there. Next chord is G6, so I'm just holding the G root note there, but I'm just muting out the A string with the fleshy part of my finger, strumming up as far as the B string really. Together for the introduction, we get this. And that's the first part, that's the easy bit. Okay, the second part is the verse chords. I'll play through them and then we'll break it down. It sounds like this. So we're starting with an A minor 7 chord. Open strings, I've got B1, open G, and D2, strumming it from the A string. I'm also going to put down my little finger on the 3rd fret there, so we get this. Then I'm just going to take my fingers off and just strum the middle strings, probably D, G and B. So, next we move to our G chord, our G6, but we're going to add our 1st finger on B1 there and take it off, so it becomes a G6, that's G6, and then G6, sus4. So in relation to the song we get this. Remember just taking matter. I've just noticed by habit I sometimes play the A string there as I would with a normal G chord. It doesn't really matter whether you do that or just mute it. So if you see me doing that, apologies, it's just habit really, because I'm used to playing a normal G chord. It's kind of just muscle memory. But it's a G6. And then G6 sus4. Next we go to an F major 7 with the C in the bass again. We're just really strumming up and down. To a C. And then back to our G6. So all together very slowly. There's an option in that verse while I'm playing this F major 7. You can bar your first finger across to include the E string to get a normal F, and then go back to the F major 7 chord like that. So playing through with that, it would sound like this. It's okay to just use the F major 7. It's a choice. You can just mix and match really. They both work in the song. So putting all that together, I'll attempt to sing on top of it so you can see what we're doing. We've got this. This is just the verse part, not the introduction. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Take me out tonight. Round 3, second verse, before we get to the chorus. Alright, so the next part 3 of 4, the chorus chords. Nice easy part of the song, it's just strumming chords. I'll play through it and then we'll break it down. It sounds like this. So we're starting with the C chord there, and if a double decker bus, to our A minor 7, you've seen that chord already. So if a double decker bus crashes into us, that's our F major 7 with the C. To our G6. Play a G, but G6 if we can stick to it, if I can be disciplined enough to do it. To die by your side, up to C again. Such a heavenly way to die, F major 7. And then we finish the chorus, the last chord, with our D minor 7, like we had in the introduction. And if a double decker crashes into us, to die by your side is such a heavenly way to go. And if a 10-ton truck crashes into us, to die. Into the next verse. 2. So those are the chorus chords, really nice and easy. You can, from the C, step down to the A minor minor 7, just as an option, but I don't think it would kind of follow the bass. I don't know whether Johnny does that. I don't think he does on the main guitar part. I would just stick to so that's the chorus, nice and easy. Next we'll look at the bit, it's not so easy. It's not too bad, I promise, but it's hard to explain. Okay, that's the arpeggio part. So I think it helps to think of this as chords, arpeggio chords, rather than a tabbed series of individual notes. And I also think it helps to think of it as two sections, two parts. So the first part, and I'm just going to play the underlying chords, we'll refine it, we'll bring out a bit more detail as we go through. But the first part would be this, these would be the chords. And then the second part would be. So let's just look at that in a bit more detail and refine it and get some, bit more emphasis on individual notes in it, pick out some melody. Alright, so let's look at that part one. I think actually, just as an aside, on the album, on the studio version of this, I don't think this guitar, if he does play this, it's not prominent in the mix. It's more of a strings and a sort of flute melody playing over the top of the guitar. I think nowadays when you see it live, this part comes in more. I should say that I don't think you hear this guitar too much on the album version. I've not listened to it for a bit, but I think I'm right in saying that. So I'm going to start with down. So I'm playing this A minor chord. You remember in the main part of the song we played A minor 7. But I'm starting with an A minor, strumming down from the A string, but we're going to change so it does become an A minor 7, and with my third finger I'm going to hold down this G, put a G in the bass to mimic the verse chords. So the trick is to catch some of that note. So you're bouncing up and down with your strumming hand with these root notes. I knew it was going to be hard to explain this, but I'm going to persevere and play it slowly, and hopefully I'll be able to make it clear. So you can choose to strum downwards when you change there to catch that G note, that root note first, or you can bounce from that open E to the G there. With it so far? Alright, so that's the first bit. Back to the A minor. And then we go to this G6 chord that we looked at. And then on the G string, I'm just taking my finger off, G2 to the open G. Together very slowly from the top, we've got this. key to pick out the main notes in it. So that's a real part of the melody in that second part, so you've got to get that in. And then, you know, make sure you start with that and then just work out the bass part, the chord that should be underneath it. So that's all in G, that part. That's all in A minor. So it's not that difficult to do, it's a lot harder to explain it actually, but really you're just picking these chords but trying to get something of those bass changes to G in there. Alright, so we've looked at part one. I would say the second section is a bit easier to play and explain. I'll play through it, we get this. So there I'm just strumming the F major 7 chord with the C in the bass. So again, we're using a lot of this note on the open first string. Just coming back to catch a little bit of the notes in the chord with it. And then to a C chord, but strumming upwards from that B1 note. So far we've got this. So as we transition from the F major 7, remember I'm picking, it's mainly on the D string, and catch a bit of the G as well. I'm then going to pick upwards as I change to this C chord. And I'm catching B, which I'm holding down as part of the chord at the first fret, open G string, and then D, which I'm holding down second fret as part of the chord. And then we land on this. So we're back at G. I'm using the bottom of a G chord there. You can just use the G6 chord, but the important bit this time is to hold B3, because you need that note for the melody. So it's not been part of our chord before, but you need this. You play that note, B3, and then an open G. So I'm going to play through that second section really slowly, and then I'll play through the two sections together really slowly. Again. And as you land on these chords, you need to try and get some of the bass in. So there, strumming upwards but still catching the bass to fill it out. So both parts together, slowly, sounds like this. say, just as tips for that, remember to use these upward strums in it. So you're kind of alternating between upward strums on these thinner strings, and then but still getting across to play. Just keep that bass going as you go through. That's a tip. I would also say have a little bit of loose pick. Don't have it too tight with hardly any showing. You've got more work to do, so the pick can do some of the work for you if you hold it loosely and have quite a bit of pick showing, at least just while you get going with it. I think that would help. So hopefully I've not overcomplicated that. I've tried to explain it as best I can, thinking of that arpeggio part really in relation to chords and picking out the melody, and just keep working with it. Play those chords and just pick out the melody parts, hopefully with what I've shown you and what you know the underlying chords are now. You can get it, but it's just a question of balancing, picking some of that melody with catching the bass part as it changes from A to G basically. Just one final part I've just thought of at the end. I've seen Johnny play this sometimes himself on YouTube, and he plays some sort of weird discordant chord just at the end of the track. It's not on the original Smith's recording. It sounds like this. Nice chord. So all it is an open A string, sorry, and then I've got D11 on the guitar, so not in relation to the capo, now we're too far up the neck really, so D11 and G9, so we get this. Cool chord, great song, and those are all the parts, so there's a light that never goes out by the Smiths. Enjoy. So that's it, There's a Light That Never Goes Out, an amazing Smith song, a classic Smith song, a real anthem. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson. As always, I'd love to hear from you. Please let me know what you think. Hope you're enjoying it. As always guys, enjoy your guitar playing, and I'll see you really soon.